waking up, I make a cup of tea, Darjeeling tea, and while I sip the tea, and I also read Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Okay, and Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, and what a wonderful way to start the day. Wonderful way to start the day, as if I am at Dakshineshwar, and because I have been to the places which is being described, it is easier for me to imagine what it is like. So that is what Narada is speaking here. Smarana asakti, a love for liking, or any other creative means. These are all creative means how one remembers God, how one incorporates the practice of remembering God occasionally through in the midst of every activities. Sri Ramakrishna used to say in Bengali, he used to say, Smaran manan thaklei holo. That is, if you have remembrance of God, that alone itself is enough. I just want to give one conversation. It occurs in Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, 1885, February 22nd. Surendranath Mitra, he is saying that I cannot meditate well. I repeat the Divine Mother's name now and then. Lying in bed, I repeat her name and fall asleep. That is what he could do. Then Sri Ramakrishna says, that is enough. You remember her, don't you? So this Marana Asakti is a wonderful thing. Wonderful thing. Taking a break from activities, even for a moment, just for a second. Some people do it. Every hour they take a break of 1 second to think about God. Okay, every hour 1 second. So apparently it might appear nothing, but this keeps on the current of divine thought in the midst of everything. So Narada says, if someone has liking to remember God, that is another form of bhakti. Then fifth is dasya asakti, attachment to master-servant relationship. That is a passionate commitment for serving God as the master. This is what this form of asakti is. This means whatever duty is, presenting before us, we shall do that duty as it were to serve God. As a servant, Americans won't understand this concept of master and servant relationship. So as a servant, it's the whole purpose of the servant's life is to how to please the master. Because if I can please the master, master will take care of me. I don't have to worry about my well-being. If I can please the master, master will take care of my everything. So whatever is coming to whatever task the servant is being told to do, the servant is doing it without giving any thought, without worrying about it, okay, to please the master. In the same way, whatever work is presenting before us, if a devotee can think that they are doing every activity to please the Lord, because all activities, all duties, as it were, are being presented before us, none other than God. So I, as a servant, would love to please the master. In fact, Acharya Shankara, at many places, especially in Bhagavad Gita, whenever the question of bhakti comes, he mentions this particular relationship. Vrittavat aham karomi. Vrittavat aham karomi. I will do any activity that is being presented before me like a servant. Like a servant. And in the same way, whatever the outcome, whatever we are doing one aspect, and whatever outcome, whatever result is coming out, taking it as from master itself, as the will of the master, and being content with itself. Okay, whatever the master has given to me, I am content with that. Okay, thy will be done. Thy will be done. That is called Dasya Bhakti. And when one develops a strong liking to having such master-servant relationship, it is called Dasya Asakti. Again, it is not, it is really difficult for many people even to conceive of such relationship. But if one can do it, master-servant relationship, and they love to dwell, they love to think themselves as the servant of God, so that is called Dasya Asakti. And we see that such a great example in Bhakti literature, Hanuman. Hanuman was always happy to serve the master Rama. Okay, that is the sole purpose of his life. Whatever Rama will ask him to do, Hanuman will do it, and that is everything meant for him. So he is the greatest exemplar of Dasya Asakti. Sixth one is Sakhya Asakti, that is attachment to friendship. Imagining that God is one's friend. So in this relationship, God is no longer an object of awe. It is more very own, my own friend, and a conviction that God is with me all the time. And when one has strong liking of thinking God as one's friend, it is called Sakhya Asakti. Example is Arjuna or Uddhava, their relationship with Sri Krishna. Again, also cowherd boys' relationship with Sri Krishna. So all the cowherd boys of Vrindavan, they knew that Krishna was God divine incarnation, but they did not care about it. To them, Sri Krishna was friend, and that is what they reveled in, this friendship. This friendship with God, divine friendship, that is what they reveled in. This is called Sakhya Asakti. Sakhya means friend, Asakti means attachment. Swami Vivekananda most of the time considered himself as servant of Sri Ramakrishna. Most of the times in his letters, and especially I will quote from a part of his poem. It's a wonderful poem he wrote in Bengali. Gai Geet Shunate Tomai, a song I sing to thee. A song I sing to thee. Thee means to Sri Ramakrishna. Okay, here we shall see that Swamiji sometimes is relating to Sri Ramakrishna as servant, sometimes as friend, sometimes as child. Okay, so it's a wonderful poem worth reading. A song I sing to thee. A song I sing to thee, nor care I for men's comments, good or bad. Servant am I, true servant of thee. Thou standest steadfast ever at my back. Hence, when I turn me around, I see thy face, thy smiling face. Therefore, I sing again and yet again. For birth and death lie prostrate at my feet. Thy servant am I through birth after birth. Bhakti, mukti, japa, tapas, all these, enjoyment, worship, and devotion to these things and all things similar to these, I have expelled at thy supreme command. But only one desire is left in me, an intimacy with thee, mutual. I crave no pardon at thy gentle hands, for thou art never angry with thy son. Who else with all my foolish freaks would bear? Thou art my master, thou my soul's real mate. Many a time I see thee, I am thee, yea, I am thee, and thou, my Lord, art me. So, the wonderful emotions Swamiji is expressing through this poem, his relationship, how he looks upon Sri Ramakrishna. Sometimes, mostly as a servant, also my soul's mate, real mate, no soulmate, friend. And also, he is asking for Sri Ramakrishna's pardon because the foolish things that he has done, like a child, and Sri Ramakrishna would pardon it. The next one is seventh, Vatsalya Asakti. Vatsalya means the relationship between parent and child. Attachment to parent-child relationship, that is Vatsalya Asakti. Imagining that God is one's own child. So here the devotee thinks that God is a baby who needs protection and love. When one enjoys such relationship, it is called Vatsalya Asakti. Example is Yashoda's love for baby Krishna. And we know that Yashoda, although she was aware of the fact that Sri Krishna was none other than divine incarnation, but to her, Sri Krishna was a child who needed her protection. And it is divine in the sense that although knowing that Sri Krishna is divine incarnation, Yashoda is relating to God as a mother relates to her baby. That is the sweetness here. Okay. So remember one thing, one can ask how we can now relate to Sri Krishna or divine incarnation. They are nowhere nearby. So asakti means here that reveling on this kind of thoughts, okay, trying to relive as Yashoda had her connection with Sri Krishna. Okay, it is trying to read those portions or thinking as it were, as Yashoda was attached to Sri Krishna, so also can I be attached to God. Okay, so in Bhagavatam, this has been described in a lot, that bhakti, according to Bhagavatam, is bhakti, whatever had to be happened in Vrindavan. Okay, now what bhakti is going to do is relate or love particular portions of the Bhagavatam. Okay, dwell on those portions of Bhagavatam. For example, those who very much love to read, think, meditate, contemplate, sing about this sweet relationship between Yashoda and Krishna, they are having Vatsalya Asakti. Okay, attachment for this parent-child relationship. We see these two in the life of Sri Ramakrishna. You know, one Vaishnava Pandit, his name was Jatadhari. In 1864, a Vaishnava monk whose name was Jatadhari. Jatadhari means he had matted hair, and who was a worshipper of Rama. And he used to carry a small image, metal image of Rama, Ram Lala. Okay, Ram Lala. Lala means child, so child Rama. And through her many years of spiritual practice, to him, this image was not an image. It was a living presence of Sri Rama. And Ramakrishna too felt the same kind of love for this image, seeing that it is God, Sri Rama, present in this image as consciousness. Sri Ramakrishna could feel the living presence of Sri Rama in this image. So that is connecting to God with the attitude of as parent-child relationship. And Saint Francis of Assisi, he also had very much this kind of relationship with baby Jesus. Okay, baby Jesus. In many of his writings, he extols baby Jesus, his special affection for Jesus the baby. Okay, so this is not only unique to Vaishnava tradition, but also some of the Christian mystics we see that. Then is Kanta Asakti. Kanta means spouse. Okay, Asakti. So attachment to the relationship between spouses. It is also known as Madhura Bhava. Madhura means sweet. Okay, relationship, sweet relationship between spouses. If everything goes well, I assume, I assume if when everything is going well, so relationship between the spouses are sweet. So example is, and when the devotee considered themselves as a spouse of God and has a strong liking for maintaining such relationship. The greatest example is Sri Radha. Sri Radha's love for Sri Krishna. Sri Radha used to think Sri Krishna is her sweetheart, love her. Okay. And also in Christianity too, there is a concept of bridal mysticism. It can be traced to the Middle Ages. There are many saints. One is Catherine of Siena. She was well known for her mystic marriage to Jesus. Then Saint Teresa of Avila, and also Saint John of the Cross. They all thought themselves, used to imagine themselves, feel that they were married to Jesus Christ. Okay, this is Kanta Sakti. Sri Ramakrishna also practiced this Kanta Sakti or Madhura Bhava. At first, when he heard about this from a woman saint, Bhairavi Brahmani, who came to Dakshineshwar and told Sri Ramakrishna about this practice, connecting or relating to God as one's sweetheart, lover. So at that time, Sri Ramakrishna did not like it, but later on, he practiced this. At the end of his Vaishnava sadhana, he took up this Madhura Bhava. At that time, he started assuming himself as Sri Radha. And you know, there's a detailed explanation or information about description that for that period, Sri Ramakrishna used to wear saris, ornaments, wear cloth like women, walk like women. He identified himself with Radha. Okay, because the concept in Vrindavan is that to get a vision of the Krishna, you have to be close to Radha. You have to have grace of Radha. So Sri Ramakrishna, it is told there that Sri Ramakrishna had the vision of Sri Radha. And later on, after some time practicing Madhura Bhava, he also had the vision of Sri Krishna. And like all other visions, which is common to all other visions, he experienced Sri Krishna, who entered into his own being as consciousness and merged in Sri Ramakrishna's person. That is an example of Kanta Sakti or Madhura Bhava. Ninth is Atma Nivedana Asakti, attachment to surrendering one's whole being. Everything belongs to God. I have nothing of my own. And dedicating all activities to God, all thought, all worries, focusing one's all efforts on God. We encountered this in aphorism 19, where Narada defined bhakti as what? Narada tu tadarpito akhilo acharata tad vismarane parama vyakulata. Narada says Bhakti is surrendering all actions to God and intense anguish upon not remembering God. That is Atma Nivedana. So your total being you are dedicating to God. You are not keeping anything for yourself, having no identity of yours. Atma Nivedana Sakti. Then 10th is Tanmayata Asakti. Attachment to becoming one with God, or attachment to becoming totally absorbed with God. That is, in moments, Tanmayata means total absorption is God. So momentarily thinking that you have become one with God. Okay. You have no separate existence, but you have merged with God. So this, and liking to dwell on this kind of thoughts that I have merged with God, I have just become one with God. In fact, it's very hard to say. Only one can, imagine what it means, Tanmayata. Yeah, like when somebody adores a superstar so much that he or she starts dressing like that person, talking like that person, impersonate that person, So especially it happens in teenage, when one, thinking themselves as someone else. I have become that person for the time being. Tanmayata is kind of that. One is erasing one's individuality and becoming one with God. That is called Tanmayata Asakti. And in aphorism 70, Narada says that Mukhya Bhakta, the chief devotees, they are completely absorbed in divine consciousness. Tanmayaha, they are totally absorbed. They are filled with the thoughts of the divine. Their life is God-centered. This is when one has strong liking to dwell on God in total absorption. It is called Tanmayata Asakti. We see, I mentioned to you that Sri Ramakrishna very often used to say that I don't know anything other than Mother Kali. So, and his thoughts were most of the time absorbed with Mother Kali. And those who have seen his disciple, Swami Brahmanandaji, they also say that sometimes Swami Brahmanandaji would appear like Sri Ramakrishna. Just from the back, one would mistake Swami Brahmananda as Sri Ramakrishna. That is, they say that Swami Brahmananda was so much absorbed in the thought of Sri Ramakrishna that he even talked like Sri Ramakrishna, behave like Sri Ramakrishna. Even in appearance, his gait, his walking, all resemble that of Sri Ramakrishna. We find in the books, reminiscences of Swami Brahmananda, many people have mentioned that sometimes that Swami Brahmananda used to feel like it is Sri Ramakrishna. That is Tanmayata. One who has become so much absorbed in someone's thought, in Sri Ramakrishna's thought, that they have also assumed or got the qualities of that person. That is Tanmayata Asakti. And finally, Parama Viraha Asakti. That is, Viraha means dejection, feeling of separation, Viraha. So longing. So Asakti for the pain of longing when separated. That is, between lovers, if they are separated, there is a pain of longing. And that appears to be sweet. Even this longing is sweet. It's a pain, but sweet pain. Okay. I love someone so much that in their absence, I am longing for them. And this longing is also sweet. There's a sweetness in this longing for God. And someone who loves to dwell in this type of longing, that is, even if they have a chance to meet God, they would not meet God. Rather, they would continue with this yearning, with this longing. This longing is so sweet. That is called Bidho Asakti, Paramo Bidho Asakti. So, this deep love is usually seen between lovers, and when the connection is so powerful that upon separation, there is extreme longing for what is missing. Example is Radha and other milkmaids of Vrindavan. They relish the separation. They relish the separation. Let there be separation. Okay. So that, and if we look at, all the asakti, attachment, or strong liking, or strong relationship with God that Narada mentioned, probably there is a, we can say, a hierarchy of intimacy. Hierarchy of intimacy. Okay, first, Rupa Asakti, Guna Asakti, Puja Asakti, then friendship, then thinking God as one's child, then thinking God as one's lover, sweetheart, then servant, as a servant, then everything, then finally becoming one with God. And Biraha, that is, the love is so strong that I enjoy the longing. I enjoy the longing. Biraha Sakti. So these are the 11 ways that Narada says devotion can manifest. But as we noted, these are not exhaustive. There could be other ones too. So, as I said, one key to understanding Vaishnava Bhakti is the concept of raga, bhava, and rasa. Raga means a specific desire to relate to God in a particular way. A specific desire. For example, as a friend, as a child, God as spouse, or God as master. These are all asakti, and a desire to connect. That is called raga. And bhava means the mindset, okay, the mood that accommodates and nurture a particular raga. So it is unique to each individual, and it reflects a devotee's sense of self in terms of their unique personal relationship with God. Okay, so if I have, for example, Sakhya Bhava, that is my natural mood, mindset, or inclination is to connect with God as friend. Okay, that is my bhava. That is my inherent thing. I have that kind of bhava. And raga means a specific desire to connect with this. Okay, so bhava is more, you may say, trait, and raga is, you may say, a expression of that trait, okay, or behavior. Raga is the behavior, and bhava is the trait, characteristic of a person. And rasa means the taste, that is actually enjoying this kind of relationship or ecstatic experience of this relationship, that is called rasa. Okay, so I have, for example, as I said, sakhya bhava, that is, I have a natural tendency to connect with God as a friend. And this desire to see God as friend or connect as friend is raga, sakhya raga, or sakhya asakti. And when I am in communion with God, with this mode of friendship, the joy, the taste of that is called Sakha Rasa. Okay, the taste of friendship. That is an ecstatic something. And according to Vaishnavism, according to Bhagavatam, this rasa is beyond anything. Compared to this experience of Atman, Brahman, non-dual Brahman, these are all inferior. These are all inferior compared to this rasa. They said that there is such a joy in this rasa that even the Jivan Muktas who were absorbed in the meditation of Brahman, those who were absorbed in Brahman, they come out of their meditation and try to taste this bliss. So according to Bhagavatam, Vaishnava Bhakti, this is the highest thing one can achieve, because liberation, moksha, or realization of Atman, according to them, is a selfish desire. It's still a selfish desire. You know, you are wanting something for yourself, but nothing compared to this rasa, supreme joy of experiencing this divine ecstasy, love. Now, who is right? Jnana yogis or bhakti yogis? Both are right. Okay, both are right. We are not in a position to judge who is right. So both are right in their own way. And it is all about which one is attracted to, which one is attracted to. But again, at the same time, if we remember Sri Ramakrishna, that he always wanted to say this: don't think that if mine is right, yours will be wrong. Okay, so there is scope, because God is infinite. God can be realized, connected to in infinite ways. Okay, so if one has the highest ideal of having experience of non-dual Brahman, for them that is right. If someone likes to connect to God with this divine ecstatic raga or rasa, to them it is the right thing. Okay, so there is no point. This question is meaningless to say which one is right. Okay, because we are applying here our worldly logic. If A is right, B cannot be right. If B is right, A cannot be right. But here, in terms of spirituality, in the domain of spirituality, this logic does not apply. If this is right, that also can be right. Okay, and that is right, this also can be right. Okay, so according to Bhagavatam, relationships, this is supreme. So these attachments are natural to some very lucky devotees, fortunate devotees. But we can practice them. We can impose this relationship to us in our life, impose this relationship when connecting with God. And one may find attracted to one or more of these relationships than other relationships. Among the all 11 that we have, one might have attracted to one particular kind. And the goal is what? The goal is to have intimacy, intimate relationship with God. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, in the path of bhakti, one needs to cultivate an intimate relationship with God. That is a relationship anyway related to God. That is what bhakti is. Okay, I find connected to God minus, there is a minus. Okay, my friend, my lover, my master, my child, whatever, there is a minus. That is the essence of bhakti. And those who don't have this relationship, do they have no place in bhakti? What do you think? Those who cannot connect to God with a personal relationship, what is their fate in the path of bhakti? Is bhakti closed for them?
Number 10, 11 are not personal relationships.
That is, which one? Suppose someone has none of these. They cannot have, say, friendship or for them.
I don't think it matters, because as long as they have love for God, that's it.
No, the thing is, although 11 asaktis we saw, they can be, they can be further summarized as 5 bhavas, right? 5 basic ways of connecting with God. That is what I was trying to come to. Yeah, that, Sakhya bhava, Madhura bhava, Vasalya bhava, Dasya bhava. So having a personal relationship with God. So if someone does not like this idea of having a connection, personal relationship with God,
they can.
So okay, let me be more specific. Now the answer will come. Have I missed out any bhava?
The bhava of an enemy, where God is an enemy.
that is also a relationship. That is also a relationship. In fact, that is a very potent relationship according to Bhagavatam. Yeah.
Shanta bhava.
Exactly. Thank you very much. Shanta bhava. Shanta bhava. Sri Ramakrishna used to say that. This is bhakti mixed with jnana. Okay. Here, Shanta bhava means peaceful. There is no emotion. There is no exuberance of emotion. That is Shanta bhava. Okay. Here, it stems from the awareness that God is the Supreme Atman, sitting in my heart and who is everywhere. My own Atman. That the same Atman, non-dual Atman, I am now trying to connect through the help of a form. So, Shanta Bhakta, they love God and worship God, but their goal is to experience non-dual Brahman. And this is bhakti coupled with jnana. Sri Ramakrishna said that in this present age, Jnana Mishra Bhakti is a very wide path. It's a very wide path because many people would probably love more to this kind of relationship, that having a background of knowledge at the same time having a connection with a personal God. Shanta Bhava. Okay. So Narada did not mention it because Narada probably did not think that it comes under bhakti at all. Okay. So if you think about Bhagavata Bhakti, Narada Bhakti, it is all about my personal connection with a particular form of God. Okay. The traditional bhaktas, Bhagavata bhaktas, the Shanta Bhava is a very, in fact, Bhagavata speaks of Shanta Bhava. They say it is for the yogis. Yogis, those whose main goal is to realize Atman or Brahman or Samadhi, but they have taken the help of personal God. For example, Narada, Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Patanjali Yoga Sutra's goal is Samadhi, Asampragyata Samadhi, but Patanjali says there are many ways of getting Samadhi. One is Ishara Pranidhanat Va, surrender to God. Okay. If one has love for God, one will ultimately reach samadhi. Okay, so that is also a bhakti. That is shanta bhakti, shanta bhava. That is also a bhava. All right. So today I could not proceed with what I thought. Hearing from you about your ideas about bhakti yoga, I emailed also you, if you have got the email, some prompts on which you can share your ideas. And as I told you, that don't think it is a talk you are giving, a presentation you are giving. Think of it as a gift you are sharing with others. As a gift, because it is your own take on bhakti yoga. There is no right or wrong in it. Okay, so you only know the answer. If you don't share what your take is, no one would know what your take on this is. It is uniquely yours. So it is a gift from you to others. And not that always gifts will be appreciated, may not be appreciated. Some may take it, some may leave it, but you have, there's nothing we can do about it, but as a gift we can share with others. In that spirit, if you can come forward and share your ideas, and I gave some prompts on which you can share your ideas, it will be great to hear from you, learn from you. People can learn. So next day, we shall complete the 2 other aphorisms, okay, which won't take much time. Then you are welcome to come forward and share your ideas on any of the prompts, questions I shared with you, or more than that. Okay, suppose you share one little aspect of bhakti, what you have learned, that might mean a lot to someone else. Okay, that is my idea of why I like to hear from you. My mother loved her children as they did. That's great.
Swamiji, what's the next topic you're going to start?
Isha Upanishad.
Okay.
Isha Upanishad. So next day will be the 2 aphorisms, and we'd like to hear from you. And if that continues to the next day, fine. And finally, I shall summarize, or maybe the highlights of Narada Bhakti Sutra, as I do, what we learned from the entire text. I will do a summary of the entire text. Okay, so it will be still 3 weeks to start Isha Upanishad. Okay.
Swamiji, can you repeat a little bit on the rasa aspect? I'm not sure if I understood it right, like how to distinguish that from the raga bhava, and how does it become rasa? What is it?
So for example, I have a propensity, I have a trait somehow because of my upbringing, for example, that I like mocha. Because I grew up in a situation where mocha was encouraged, mocha was plenty. So I love mocha form of coffee. Okay, this is called my bhava. This is, compare it to my bhava, my natural propensity. But a particular desire to taste mocha is my raga for mocha. And when I am drinking mocha, the joy I am getting, that is rasa. Got it? One is trait, that is called bhava, my internal trait.
The trait and then the experience itself.
One is trait, that is bhava, and a desire to experience something, that is raga, and the experience, rasa. All right. So we'll do the guided meditation.
Maharaj, in the Upanishad, it comes Raso Vaisa. Is it the same Rasa they are referring to?
Rasa means there's bliss,
Okay.
taste, yeah, essence. That is a joy, yes. Music dedicated to God is another example of rasa. Yeah, sure. Rasa is any experience, Any experience is rasa, but here, rasa means in bhakti, experience of divine love through anything, okay. Rasa is a very generic word, okay. Natya rasa, then, any other rasa, any kind, other kind of aesthetics, any kind of aesthetic, okay. So someone is dancing, that is a rasa. That is a rasa. But here rasa is this ecstatic experience of divine love. All right.